Good morning, students. From today we are going to discuss the last part of the chapter, that is the shapes of the demand curves of various market forms. We have discussed so many market forms under the chapter. We have discussed the perfect competition. We have discussed the perfect competition. Alright. We have discussed monopoly. We have discussed monopolistic competition, and we have discussed oligopoly. Okay. And at last we have discussed just the meaning of monopsony. Okay. So since only the meaning of monopsony is there in the course, so there is no need to go in depth of its features and the shape of the demand curves. We only have to see the shape of the demand curves of the perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly, and why these markets have such shapes that we have to discuss. Alright. Now, when you recall, when I was teaching you cost and revenue analysis, alright, and I have told you all that under perfect competition, what is the major feature of perfect competition? If we talk about perfect competition, what is the major feature of perfect competition is that the sellers can't reduce the price. They can't change the price. Neither they can increase or decrease the price with their choice, according to their choice, because there are very large number of sellers, and each of the seller having a negligible market share, so they have zero market power to influence the price. So under perfect competition, no price reduction is there, no price reduction to sell more. That means if a particular seller, or if a particular seller wants to, if a particular producer wants to sell more, and he thinks that he should reduce the price in order to sell more output in the market, then it is not possible, because it will have a negligible impact, because there are homogeneous products. So on what grounds they will reduce the price? They will lose the customers. If they reduce the price, they will be in loss, and if they increase the price, they will lose the customers. So in case of your perfect competition, if I talk about the demand curve of perfect competition, this is our x-axis. Start drawing, everyone. This is our x-axis. This is the origin. This is the y-axis, and on the x-axis we will take the quantity or the output. You can take the output, and on the y-axis we will take the price. Okay, on the y-axis we will take the price, and since the producer cannot change the price, neither he or she can increase or decrease the price, thus the demand curve of perfect competition will be parallel to the x-axis. I have told you this in cost and revenue analysis. The demand curve under perfect competition is a parallel to x-axis line, which is the average revenue curve, or you can call it the demand curve of the firm. That means under perfect competition, a seller can sell whether he is selling less output at Q1 or he is selling more output at Q2. He has to sell at the same price. Okay, it is not so that he has to reduce the price in order to sell more. And what is the reason behind why the seller is not able to reduce the price? Because of very large number of buyers and sellers, each buyer and each seller having a negligible market share, and they do not have any market power to influence the price. So they have to accept the prices as decided by the market forces. That means as decided by the industry. So they have to take that price. So all the sellers in the perfect competition, under perfect competition, they will take the same price and they will sell whether less quantity or more quantity at the same price level only. Reason I have already told you.